What am I gonna have to dinner?
So hungry. It's late. Need something fast. Oh! Oh, you guys are here. Okay, great. Cool. Hey, burger stuff. First of all, welcome to the channel. It's called Cook Food, Not the Books. I'm an accountant, full disclosure. I'm not a chef at all. But burgers, I'm pretty good with burgers. You know, it's one of my favorite foods. We're actually gonna do two totally different styles of burgers. So number one, we're gonna do the smash burger, which is actually cooked in-house, which I kind of like because it's cold here in Canada. So we're gonna use the pan. We've got the beef, so I got lean ground beef here. I prefer it to be medium, but lean ground's fine. We're gonna need our trusty lifter. And yes, butter will come into play. There will be an egg mixture with the grilled version. Parchment paper we will need for the smash burger. We're not going to use the barbecue, right, for the smash burgers. And the smoked paprika kind of adds that grill flavor a little bit. So it kind of tricks the mind into thinking, yeah, was this grilled? Was this fried? And then we've got onion powder and garlic powder. And then we've got the Worcestershire sauce. Excellent for the grilled versions. Hot chili flakes, which I like to add. And then we've got some breadcrumbs as well. So we're going to start by heating up our pan a little bit. One of the first steps, you know, once we get this heated up, we get some butter in the pan. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take basically a small handful of ground beef, just straight ground beef, straight from the tray itself. Take a handful of that, put it on the buttered pan, just in like a ball. And then that's where the parchment paper comes in, because we're gonna need to really press it down once it's in the pan. We wanna squash it flat. And the parchment paper kind of helps because, you know, then you don't have anything sticking to your lifter, number one. And number two, that kind of acts as a bit of a grease shield. While that's heating, I'm going to get my spice mixture going. This is for the smash burger, so I'm not going to use this whole itinerary. I'm going to keep it pretty simple, but these are the spices that I like to use for my smash burger. Salt and pepper, always a must. So I'm just going to make probably one, maybe two smash burgers at the most, and then I'm going to save the rest of this beef and I'm going to use it for making patties for, you know, the grill style of burger. So onion powder, so I'm just going to, because I'm only making a couple, I don't need a whole big mess. Garlic powder, same thing, just a nice little shake. Smoked paprika, you know, give that a couple of nudges. And then we'll get our salt and pepper in there and the pepper. Nice little spice mixture. I'm just going to get the burger starting to cook. And then once I've got it flattened down and pressed down, that's what I'm going to take my hand and just kind of have the spice snow on it, if you will. It's winter here, I'd mentioned that already. Just to break it down very quickly, smoked paprika. You know, it's not a must, but I like it. If you have any kind of paprika or any, even cayenne pepper or something like that, just add a little zit. Salt and pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, butter, and away we go. So I've got my pan heating up here. I just wanted to kind of show you guys what the spice mixture looks like. Assuming I have the pan hot enough, this butter should pretty much start melting as soon as it hits the pan. So I've got it at about medium heat again. You know, I don't like rushing things and having things too hot. That's when I start to burn stuff. This is just straight up ground beef. So I'm just going to take, you know, a corner of it, small handful. I'm not really making a ball, and I just put that right in the pan pretty much as is, you know, just try to get it so it stays together, bound together. You don't want it, you know, coming apart there. So here is the trick. So this is a smash burger. This is the smash part. So I'm applying quite a bit of pressure. I'm trying to keep the lifter as flat, parallel to the stovetop as best as I can. You're smashing it, right? You want it quite thin. You know, anything more than a half an inch is too thick. And while I'm doing this, it's cooking from the bottom up. And hopefully it's gonna have a nice seared bottom. Definitely not time to flip now, but we're done with the parchment paper. And this is where we come in and we say, okay, let's get some spice on there. And then just very much, I don't know if you've seen my steak episode, red meat, you don't want to mess with it too much when it's cooking, right? So you really want it to cook. If I'm starting to play around with it now, this whole thing could fall apart. Almost, I don't want to use the word crispy, but definitely a little bit of firmness to the bottom. You want to cook it properly, right? So to know when it's time to flip, you're going to start to see some juices come out of the top, but there's no juices coming from the top yet. So we want to be patient and get the timing right. It's definitely starting to cook right through, pushing up some juices. So this side is cooking up nicely. You can really see the colors start to change over here. I'd like to see it get a little darker over here. with a little more juices pushing up. It's actually a little thicker than what I wanted, but I'm sure it'll turn out just fine. If you're a cheese person, but once you flip it, that's a good opportunity for you to put some cheese on it. Okay, so I think we're ready to flip now. So you can see the juices are pushing up. As I come in here to flip it, I want to make sure that I'm getting right to the bottom because it's going to have a nice crust. So if I come in with the lifter and I'm not scraping from the bottom, I might lose some of the burger and it might fall apart on me. So I want to try to keep it as intact as possible. Come in carefully, scoop the whole thing, flip. So there you go. So that's the color that you want. That tells me that it's cooked up nicely. Now it's just a matter of maybe 1 minute to go. It's a fairly thin burger, so it cooks quickly. With any burger, whether it's a smash burger or, you know, on the grill or anything like that, there's so many different toppings you can use for it. You know, like I talked about cheese, but I mean, if you're pickles, ketchup, mustard, relish, mayonnaise, hot peppers, tomato, lettuce, there's just so much you can do with it. So I've turned the heat off now. I'm comfortable that this is virtually cooked at this point. Safety first, right? A hot element here, there's butter and it can spit and everything else. It looks like we're ready to go. So this burger is literally done. The next step is to get your bun, plate it, put the toppings on it, and enjoy. And that's a smash burger. Oh, we're recording. Well, welcome back. Okay, so now it's time for part two of the burger making. So this is a little bit more prep required. I think it's worth it personally. We've got the rest of our ground beef here. I swear by onion powder. Put a couple of shakes in there of that. I'll do garlic powder, smoked paprika again. It's a nice to have though, that's for sure. Salt and pepper and the salt. Any burger worth its weight has Worcestershire sauce. To me, this is a very important ingredient. But I definitely add this to every burger mixture that I make. Not the smash burger, mind you, because you don't want to add any liquid to that. I like to add some chili flakes. These are seasoned breadcrumbs. It doesn't matter. Really, it's just kind of a binding agent. So because I have that much beef, it's quite a bit of beef. I'm probably going to put 2 eggs in here. So this is going to help keep it all together. Pairs up well with the dry ingredients that I put in. And once it starts cooking, you start cooking an egg. I don't know if you've seen my egg video yet. The more you cook it, the firmer it gets, right? I put in all of my seasonings. I put in the Worcestershire sauce. I put in 2 eggs because I've got quite a bit of beef here. What's next? Time to mix. You know, break those egg yolks right away and get it all mixed up. The best way to mix it is just with your hands. Barbecuing out there is not great right now. Thankfully, it's a relatively mild day. I should be able to get the grill fairly hot. So now I've got my beef all mixed up nice. I want to get forming these patties now. So everything's mixed in. Now I'm not going to cook all these patties. Got a, you know, little Ziploc plastic container here where I'm going to put the patties. If you recall, for the smash burger, I actually used parchment paper. Here, I'm just going to use it in the packaging process. Again, because I'm not going to cook all these patties tonight. It's just me here tonight. So because I'm stacking them, put a little parchment paper in between, then they're very easy to separate. You can put these burgers together way ahead of time. Only if you bought it fresh. This beef has already been frozen. I can't put these in the freezer now after because that beef has already been frozen once. Make these burgers up. We're going to put them in here and we're going to keep them in the fridge and we're going to try to eat them in the next couple of days. So let's actually start forming these patties. Don't be shy. You get in there, you grab a good handful. Anybody who's ever played baseball out there, hardball especially, you know, we're not making softballs here. It's probably a good amount of beef to go per patty. You're the boss here, right? If you're doing this work and you're putting this together, you can make these as big or as little as you want. Just form it around, make sure that it's all intact. Make it like a big hockey puck. So we want it nice and round. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's actually pleasing. It just makes it look like it's homemade. But here's something that you want to remember. You want to have it much thinner in the middle than you do around the edges. So I always kind of push in the middle. And I do that in order to make sure that it cooks evenly. So what happens if you don't have that middle that much thinner? There's a risk of kind of cooking into a ball shape. So I've had this happen to me before where, you know, you've got this even patty and you put it on the grill. It just puffs up in the middle. Try to keep it that much thinner in the middle, and it's going to be beneficial. And you can stack these up. Based on this container size, I'm just going 2 to a layer. So, you know, it's like I'm making lasagna here, right? Large hockey puck going. Bob is your uncle. Bob is my uncle. We're gonna get him on the show one day. Every barbecue I've ever owned has a very hot area and a much cooler area, so it's very inconsistent temperature. You're out there, you're tending to these burgers and they're cooking well, but one of them's cooking much faster than the other one. Here I am telling everybody not to play with it more than you have to, but I mean, you don't want to come in and have half of them burned and half of them raw, right? When we're barbecuing, we really want to emphasize the fact that it's a grill. Right? It's a grill. We're not baking it. If you're gonna bake it, you might as well just put it in the oven. Do you know what I mean? You want the grill to be hot, and you don't necessarily want the lid to be down. Now, this depends on how powerful your barbecue actually is. If your barbecue is powerful enough and you can get burgers and steaks and everything cooked even when it's cold outside, and it's happening pretty quickly because the heat can really get cranked up, that's the best scenario. Before I get it on, I like to heat it up, get that grill nice and hot with the lid shut, open it up quickly and get that meat on there right away, get that sear going, right? That's the key. So we've made our burgers, that's it. If I was just doing this in advance and this beef had not been frozen before, you can put that lid on, put it in the freezer. These will taste so much better than the frozen burgers that you buy at the grocery store. Give this a shot. I probably made it look like a lot of work because I'm jibber jabbering. Please do yourself a favor and try it. You know, the price is right too. You get that ground beef on sale, forget about it. I mean, it's a good deal. It's actually good value. Sorry to all you vegetarians out there. I want to get there. I'm not there yet. So in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy these burgers. So. Okay, now we're gonna try to flip these. I'm holding the camera, so that's gonna be a little tricky, but let's give it a whirl. Yeah, so that one fell apart a little bit. Hope this rack's upside down. So there we go. So I'm gonna shut it only because it's cold over here. Okay, here's the deal. The grilling process is almost complete. I've literally flipped those burgers only once because I didn't want to mess with them too much. Cook it enough before you flip that first time, because if you flip it too soon, very much like the egg I was talking about in another video, it's going to fall apart. I've turned off the heat. The burgers are virtually cooked. It's red meat, so you want it to rest a little bit. Let it rest to the point that I would rest a steak. Nobody wants to bite into a cold burger, right? The heat is off now. The patties are still on the grill itself. I've got the lid closed only because it's cold outside. But I'd put some cheese on my patty, right? So now it's melting, and I've also put the bun right on the grill. The flames are off, but it's still nice and warm in there. So I like it toasted a little bit. So that's how I do it, right? I don't want to burn my bun. And this works really well with chicken too. If you're cooking chicken drumsticks, especially. I'm gonna go bring in my burgers and we'll see what it looks like. Well, all right. So we've got our burgers done, 2 different versions. It's not really fair that I put cheese on one and not the other one. So again, the smash burger over here, and then we've got the grilled burger over here. Very different flavors, both delicious in their own right. I hope you try both processes out. I'd love to hear which one you prefer. I think I know what you're gonna say. Please share your comments because I really want to know. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. Again, cook food, not the books. I'm no chef, but I get by, and this is pretty good. So check it out. Thank you.